but lots to get to right now. And there is breaking news. You probably heard it at the top of the hour from Steve DeSager, but basically the Nets just released a statement within the last half an hour, I believe, saying that they thought that working with the Anti-Defamation League and Kyrie and the Nets had offered to donate $500,000 each to, fight prejudice and things of that nature. Kyrie made a statement, but he did not make a full-throated apology for the misinformation and, negative things that were put in there about Jewish people. And today he had a press conference and was given the opportunity to apologize for being anti-Semitic. He didn't. We're going to play that in a moment for you. But the Nets, probably after conferring with Adam Silver, Rob, the commissioner, have decided in their press release that he is going to be suspended indefinitely until they say, what is the language they use?
They say he currently,
he's going to
Chris,
go through testing.
he said he's unfit to be a member of the Nets. Unfit. I mean, those are serious words. And you talked about it. You talked about his career next year, Chris. I don't even know.
It might be over. Here's the language. Right? You said, they do say.
Look at the end. It says something like he's unfit to be a member.
Yeah, we are of the view that Kyrie, is currently unfit to be associated with the Brooklyn Nets. We have decided that Kyrie will serve a suspension without pay until he satisfies a series of objective remedial measures that address the harmful impact of his conduct, and the suspension period served is no less than 5 games. So I'm ready
to say this. I don't think he'll back down, Chris, and he probably won't play for the Nets. That's my gut.
The Nets?
No, right. But I'm just saying.
I mean, do you think, who else would take him?
No, you're right. If he doesn't do that, you're almost right. I mean, how could anybody else picking him up?
Right. And I mentioned, let's say he would have played out this year and then he is a free agent after, say the Nets go out in the second round, whatever. He's a free agent after this season. The only team, Rob, that I could think of that might sign Kyrie was the Lakers. Because LeBron has shown the ability to work with Kyrie and win with Kyrie. But I don't know if I think, Rob, they would face the same public relations nightmares, right? That the Nets are facing.
Remember this too, Chris. Once the commissioner, we just said it
right
in the first hour.
This is the commissioners involved in this.
Once the commissioner said, I'm disappointed and not happy about this, Chris, who's a Jewish man himself, right?
Right.
And they're not going to allow this to go on. It's just that simple. He was asked a very pointed question about being anti-Semitic. Chris, it's just it's simple.
Well, and I'm telling y'all, this is I've been saying he needs to apologize. So
right, you said it.
Doubt.
You said it from day one.
But he is playing word games. Kyrie Irving believes that he's Semitic, and I'm not ridiculing that belief. I'm just saying that's what he believes. And so when he says I can't be anti-Semitic, that's what he means.
Right.
And he believes the Jews in America are Europeans. And so he like I said, Rob, is this
the beginning of the end?
This is definitely, it is. I mean, if he's not going to come out, and here's the thing, I don't think, Rob, like I said, I don't subscribe to his theology. Obviously I'm not against Jews. I don't agree with it, but I don't think a person should lose their career or their livelihood. He's obviously made enough money where he doesn't have to work another day in his life, but for their beliefs, as long as they're not promoting violence against another group of people.
Yeah, I think I hear what you're saying, but
I get that people can hire who they want.
There you go.
That's why I was like, after this season, and I'm not gonna. This isn't, but it's similar to Kaepernick in that they just don't want Kaepernick on the team, in the league, right? He did have a more noble cause. He didn't
break any laws, and he didn't do anything that was right.
Hasn't broken any laws.
No. I'm not saying
that's my point.
Right.
Like, look, you can find his beliefs untoward, but I don't think he should lose his livelihood because of it.
Yeah, but Donald Sterling, Chris, didn't break any laws, and Donald.
Yeah, but he said in that tape, right, he didn't really want black people at his games.
Right, but he didn't but he didn't break any laws.
No, I agree. None of them have broken laws.
Right, and they've just decided that's not in the best interest of our league. And that's what it comes down to when you put on a uniform and you represent organizations and other people, Chris. It's not that they want you to be in lockstep of everything they believe, but if they believe you're doing damage to the league, to the overall organization, and the brand, that's where you become where they will go into.
That's their right.
That's their right. We could talk about Trevor Bauer. Chris, again, the charges were dropped. They were supposedly consensual. Will he pitch in the major leagues again? I don't know. And the players' union is the strongest union in America, Chris. And they didn't flinch. They didn't do anything for Trevor Bauer. So I don't know. It's a tricky spot. I feel bad for him from this standpoint that he's fallen on this sword when it was so easy to just apologize and say I'm not anti-Semitic and close the door.
Right, because the sword he's fallen on isn't even, these are my core religious beliefs. The sword he's fallen on is, he said it himself, that there's falsehoods in the book. There's, I can't think of all the words he used, but he said that there's stuff that's in there that's just flat out wrong. Lies. Those are the things people want you to apologize for, the fact that book said the Holocaust didn't take place.
Right.
You can't apologize for that?
Right. God.
And Rob, you hear it all the time. A person's greatest strength is often their greatest weakness. And Kyrie Irving, I'm sure his stubbornness and unwillingness to believe what people have said about him or to him is part of what, played a part in him becoming such a great individual basketball player. But in this case, man, your stubbornness could cost you your career. And this just seems like this isn't Muhammad Ali not going to Vietnam.
It ain't. Like you just said.
Fighting. Especially this isn't Colin Kaepernick standing up for African Americans
unarmed,
who were innocent and unarmed
and being gunned down
by police. But it's trending to the end result, right? That he's essentially blackballed from the league. Like, I didn't like, years ago, Rob, almost 30 years ago now, when Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf, you remember him?
I remember
Chris
that.
Jackson. He essentially was blackballed from the league.
And that was another situation where that was unjust. Chris,
right.
Let's throw out the number. Let's give some. Let's break and give some time for people. I really want to see. Where are they on this? Are we the old guys out in left field, or are we
in terms of what?
Just that people think that this. Do they think this is just, unjust?
I don't think he should be suspended.
Okay, so you don't think he should be suspended by the league? Okay,
he has not said himself that he doesn't like Jewish people, that he's against Jewish people. Now, I do believe he should apologize. And I do believe if at the end of this season, after his contract is over and nobody wants to sign him, then that is what it is. But, like I said, I just don't believe that people should be suspended for their beliefs as long as they're not advocating violence.
Yeah, well, I think
because you might not agree with a Muslim's religious beliefs.
Yeah, but
you might not agree with a Jew's religious or a Christian's religious
yeah, but it's
belief.
just not. I don't think it's just about. And you talked about it about somebody's beliefs, but I think the stuff about the Holocaust didn't exist.
Well,
right.
Totally. He should come out.
That's the stuff that you just cannot allow.
But if he believes that.
But
I don't know that I hope he doesn't believe that.
I don't know, and part of it is he had a chance for this to be over.
He should come out and get more specific.
Yeah, he had a chance for this to be over, and he didn't do it. And when you work for other people and you represent a brand in the league, this is what happens. This is not. You can say and do whatever you want, Chris, if you're independently wealthy and you don't work for anybody, or if you're in your basement. You can do that all day, but this is when he has a reach.
Because I'm thinking of things like the NBA didn't keep the game in Charlotte, the All-Star game, remember, in Charlotte, because of a quote unquote bathroom bill.
Yep.
And that would you had to go to the bathroom of your biological sex. If a player comes out and says, I don't want my daughter in the bathroom with a boy or a man. Would they be suspended?
I don't know. Those
are things that's what I'm saying, man. It's complicated, and it's like determining what people can believe and think.
Yeah, I don't think that's what they're looking at, because and this is the only thing I'm going to say, and this hasn't happened to 500 players or 300 players or 10 players.
He's obviously a unique guy.
Right. This is what I'm saying. He's very unique, so they haven't had to deal with these kind of things, because most people understand when you wear a uniform and a city on your chest that you represent them at all times, just like you represent Fox and you represented ESPN for all those years. We know that going in. We know that. I can't go out to some crazy bar and jump on top of a table and say, well, I'm off today and I'm not on the radio, and I could just yell out from the top of my lungs anti-Semitic slurs at a bar. I will not be on Fox Sports Radio
tomorrow. And in fairness, I don't think Kyrie would do that.
I didn't say that. I'm just saying.
No, but I'm just saying, I mean, that's an extreme. Right. I don't think Kyrie hasn't done that. But look, the bottom line is, man, he just needs to come out and apologize for the false information and get specific that's in that book or in that documentary, and hopefully be able to move on with his career. Your turn to weigh in on Kyrie being suspended indefinitely.
All right, let's kick it off, Chris, with Shaq in Richmond, Virginia. You're on the Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio. What up, Shaq?
What's going on, fellas?
What's up, man?
Not much. I don't think he should have been suspended, and I don't think he's going to back down, so I think he's done.
Wow, his career's over.
It could be.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it requires. He's not responsible for anything in that movie. Like, Amazon and Bezos should be just as culpable, but we know Bezos may have more power than the Jewish community, so that's probably why he's not.
Well, he should just come out and apologize for the stuff that is in there that he don't agree with, which is what people are asking.
That's what the issue is. It is. Thanks, Shaq. Appreciate the call. Let's get to Carl in Mobile, Alabama. You're on the Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio, and people aren't watching the baseball game. 1-1, Chris, the home run by Schwarber. Yeah, off of Verlander.
Verlander's head is a mess.
You already know that.
No doubt.
Yeah.
There's no doubt.
He gave up a home run on the second pitch tonight.
Yep.
All right, Carl, what you got?
Hey, guys, thanks for taking my call. I tried to get in on Worship Wednesday, and I couldn't quite, but I wanted to share that I think the problem is that people don't really do enough really studying of history. Nobody has the time. Everybody's busy, and we all think we know when we don't really know. Study of history and religion and all that stuff is exhaustive. Even people that are theologians don't really fully understand it, and they study it for years and years and years. And so for him to speak on things like this, it's going to be a problem, because you have to put a lot of study into it. But everyone who's religious knows that there are 7 lost tribes, and one of those lost tribes or more immigrated to Africa after they were split apart. Right. So blacks and Africans have Jewish heritage. Some of them prepared food the same way as Jews and still do and always have. But the point is, when he made that press conference today and basically doubled down, it sounded like he justified his actions because of slavery and his heritage, which
because he did start going into that. You're right.
And that's the problem, Carl. Good call. Appreciate it.
Good call, man. Good call.
Hey, Chris in Phoenix, you're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What up, Chris?
Yeah, man, to double down on that, he should absolutely be suspended. I mean, he's talking personal. What if Luka came out and said slavery didn't exist? Would he be suspended?
I'm sure they would, but if those, like I said, if those are his beliefs, and Rob makes a good point that would, like, if Luka came out and said, or any white player, it would be almost impossible for them to play in the NBA just because of the team, right? The players.
Yep.
And that might be the case with Kyrie, not with the other players, but just with the fans, with the crowd. You know, because if you start getting protesting or fans just stop going to games, and we don't know if that was going to happen or not, but if it did,
it could, right?
Right.
And that's where you would damage the brand, Chris, or the league, and that's why, you get jettisoned out. It happens. Gary,
but look, we're not defending, Kyrie in any way, shape, or form, Kyrie's stance. We are both saying he should apologize.
No doubt. Gary in Houston, you're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio.
Yeah, hey guys.
Yep.
Okay, so I hate to be this guy, but here's my problem. Why is Kyrie not allowed to say what he say, but Joe Tsai is allowed to write a letter defending China when they're in the war against Hong Kong and lying about Hong Kong makes them look bad? Why?
I don't think it's the same thing. I don't. And Gary, I mean, you can look at it to say that the hall to endorse or and remember the society we live in. When you like Chris or retweet, you're saying that you buy into whatever it is that was out there, right? And
I don't believe he did that.
Well, but
he posted.
So I'm sorry. Okay,
this book.
Yeah, and when you do that, and there's stuff in there that says the Holocaust didn't exist, people are going to call you. We just talked about who's the other guy, Alex. What's his name?
Alex Jones.
Alex Jones, Chris, who said that Sandy Hook didn't happen. Parents who lost kids, that it didn't happen.
It's a lot of complicated stuff.
It is. It ain't black
this whole
and white.
Situation is very right. Muhammad Ali, who at this point most Americans, I believe, think of as a hero.
But it wasn't overnight.
For the prime of his boxing career, he subscribed to a theology that said white people were devils. He did. Until 1975, when the Nation of Islam disbanded as it had been before. He was able to box. Now, he was in an individual sport versus a team sport, but still.
There's a big difference there. I get what you're saying, but he didn't have an owner or a boss or a situation where this is where Kyrie
is. And he didn't behave in a way that, he didn't treat white people in a negative way at all. Angelo Dundee, his trainer, was white,
and him and Howard Cosell had a relationship, a great relationship. So Howard was the first guy to even call him Muhammad Ali, Chris, out of the media.
Right. But the fact is that was the theology of the Nation of Islam, which Ali was a strong member of. And when Malcolm X left the Nation of Islam and renounced those beliefs, Ali didn't do it. He broke his relationship with Malcolm X. This is what I mean by people got beliefs that if you're going to start taking away people's livelihoods for beliefs, it's just going to be interesting because a lot of people got different beliefs.